Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks video. In tonight's video, we're going to be talking about how to win more games in Fortnite Battle Royale, specifically solo matches. But we're going to talk about, because some games when you're playing solo, you know, you're fighting, you're winning gunfights, you're running up against players that might not be the best. But in other games, maybe you're running into situations where you don't have the most materials, the most amount of shields, and you might be facing against a couple tryhards, especially usually late game, where of course the people that are statistically going to survive for late game are going to usually be better players than you're going to find early game randomly. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. And you'll see a couple of Twitch TVs and streamer mode and soccer skins and stuff late game that I'm able to take out. And I want to talk about how I'm able to do it, how I manage fighting good players with materials and health and keeping track of all of that. And of course, the fact that if you're playing arena mode at 800 points, the tryhards in that are going to be a lot better than people in normal matches. But we're still talking about normal matches here because there is so many differences between arena and a normal match, especially with the fact that farming up materials, you know, health on killed, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to talk about in a normal match when you run up against players and you're in a tough scenario, or you might be running into some good players late game. If you guys could drop a like on this thing, that would be absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and go for 532 likes. If we could hit that, that would be incredible. Drop a like on this thing, subscribe if you guys are new, and let's get right into it. So analyzing this gameplay here, 20 people left. This guy, you can see right away, he's going for that supply drop, and the second that I build up and reinforce and get big damage on him, I immediately go aggressive, get the wall replaced, and then once you have the wall replaced, you basically are in control. You'll see it's a strategy that I use quite a bit, and the thing is, when good players or even decent players, pretty much anyone, people will try to turtle at this point. You know, they'll place the roof and the pyramid above them, the four walls around them, and they'll try to turtle up. And once they're turtled and they're out there with their map holding down turbo build, there's pretty much nothing you can do if you don't have explosives or a stink bomb or something like that. So you need to, when someone turtles up, get the wall replaced really quick before they're set and found their bearings. So this player down here, you can see this guy just tries to shoot me down. Once again, I drop down and he boxes up. This is expected. This is what's going to happen, especially in Season 9. Player tries to build up. I, of course, match this player, hit some damage, and the second I hit damage and see the white numbers coming out means that they don't have any shield. I, of course, was 100, so it's a lot better position for me to be in, and I'm able to take that player out. So you can see here at this point, I'm in a pretty good position. I have a good amount of mats, like what, 1600, good weapons, and this another player is approaching me. This is what will happen in mid game. You will get rushed by multiple players at once, and you can see here now I'm just basically holding this wall, organizing everything before I'm going to go for this player. I'm making sure I have exactly what I want. I choose to go with the chug jug here instead of the big pot, especially with 18 left. Like, chug jugs are not effective really when you make it to the top 10 or top 5, but sometimes it can be top 10 in a normal match and the zone is still huge, so a chug jug could still be used. So that's sort of it. So you can see here, I'm in a good position. I basically just play and going with the flow of the game. I have a decent amount of materials, and people always talk about, like, whenever I'm playing or streaming, I'll say, oh, I don't have that many mats, and I might have 700, 800 mats. A lot of people say, yo, that's a lot. Going into late game, though, I always want to have, like, 2k mats, at least like 1.7k plus mats, because especially when the zones are around these mountains, you're gonna need to build late game. That's just the way it's going to be, and that's why you see me still taking my time and smacking these trees, because when there's nothing else to do, the only downside of farming is a lot of the time the sound that it makes is pretty loud, and you're focused on, of course, hitting the blue circles to make it go faster, so you can get snuck up on by a third party. But it's always worth it to get those materials, and especially this is one of the main differences between arena and normal matches. You need to spend time farming, because in arena, mostly almost everyone has maxed out mats mid to late game if they're smart in a high division, right? But even that, like, you can just kill someone, get their mats, or even if you don't, you can replenish them real quick with the plus 40% on the farming. In this game mode, it's not really the same. You got to take your time and farm up. So here I see this player, and I make the choice to rush this player because why not? When I'm in a good position, that's when I want to take advantage of it. I have a chug jug here, so it doesn't matter if this guy gets me down to 1 HP. I'm gonna, refill back up with the chug jug, and if I don't fight anyone and I play safe right now, the chug jug is going to become obsolete very soon. This guy, of course, was not the smartest player. Run down, of course, and get a free kill there, and perfect the shotgun upgrade. Shotgun to me is the most important weapon. Having a green shotgun or a blue shotgun late game cannot compare to the purple or gold shotgun. So far this game, I'm in a good position. You can see here I'm at like 1400 mats, so I probably want to farm up a little bit more, but right here is where I make a big mistake. So right here I get some good damage on that player. player, and I think this guy's going to duck down and heal up, because that's usually what happens when you do damage to a player. So I just casually run over there without I could have easily been double reinforcing my builds there every single time. It's just that I thought, oh, this is going to be an easy kill. Might as well preserve the mats on it. Plus I have the glider redeploy, so I don't really have to worry about fall damage. Of course, that player makes the decision, instead of healing, to try to shoot me down when pushing him. It turns out to be the right decision. He gets a big shotgun shot on me. Eventually I win the fight, but I still take a lot of damage. Next player I see here, I get 36 damage in on this player, which I would talk about offense and defense quite a bit. I know right now I want to go on offense for the fact that I want HP. I don't want to win this game with 125. That's not a lot. I think that 150 to 200 is what you need pretty much at all times. So as soon as I realize I had 36 in on this player, I have the RPG, I'm going to rush and I'm going to try to get the kill off this player for a couple of reasons. Number one, health, of course, is the biggest reason. And then number two, shields or utilities. So right here, once again, get the wall replaced. Instantly make the middle circle. They run to the side. That's going to happen quite a bit. I'm taking my time here, strategically planning it, getting that kill. And of course, that pays off, because while I may not have got the most materials from that player, I got a campfire, which allows me to heal up quite a bit. So this is where really you can see to this point, we haven't fought really, you know, we've made the fights look easy. We've made the game look easy. We haven't been in a very, very tough position. And we're 175 HP now. Now here is where the position gets tough. I am forced by this zone to push up on that mountain where this guy has a metal base. I am forced to do it. And the decision I make here, and this is what I talk about when you're running up against good players or in bad situations, what this video is about, I choose to approach on the side here, which I think is smarter. Jump up, replace, just stay behind these trees, making it the hardest angle for this player to hit me. Now, this is where it's going to happen. This is where top 5, there's some soccer skins, there's some Twitch TVs you'll see that I kill in the kill feed and different stuff like that. These players are decent. First of all, this guy wants to go with the build fight with me, which I'm totally down for. I'm totally down to go for this build fight, except the fact that when I realize, okay, he just wants to keep building. I get damage in there. I'm like, okay, now I'm above him. I want to finish it off, but I missed the shot right there when I had a chance to finish it. He eventually gets high ground. Right here, I could probably retake high ground just because I'm only one tier lower than him, but I look, and this is where it comes down to. You're fighting good players late game. You have to preserve your resources and your materials, mainly ammo, shields, and materials. So right here, that's where I chose. If I had 3,000 mats, I would have retook the high ground and probably tried to win that gunfight that way. I realized I had 600 mats, so I'm going to drop down to the low ground, right? Eventually, a Twitch TV player takes out this guy as a third party, and then is in a hamster ball and tries to run over here to get basically some sort of shields and heals. I shoot the hamster ball out, which is always a key, but I take damage here. And what I'm kind of not realizing while I'm watching back on this gameplay is I think there might have been a campfire up above on that edge. I'm not sure. Obviously, I didn't realize that in the moment, because when you're playing the game, it's going to be a little bit tougher. I'm not sure if that's a campfire or what that is up there, up on the right. But anyway, at this point, I didn't have any sort of heals, right? I didn't have anything in my, yeah, it is a campfire. Darn it. So I could have grabbed that. Didn't realize in the moment, but stuff like that is going to happen. That's why it's important to analyze your gameplays, right? So in reality, I should have grabbed that campfire and healed up. I didn't see the campfire at all. I got this gameplay the other day on my Facebook stream. So in my opinion, I'm going at it with 112 health, right? I get so much damage on that guy. He's down to like 1 HP, and I approach this guy, and he, of course, what does he do? Box up. So I try to spray down. This guy, you can see, he's once they're in control of the box, they're not going to let you have it. They're going to hold down on turbo build. I know this guy's low, so my idea is I only have 300 mats. I'm going to break down into his base and fight him. However, we get another player who tries to go above us, so my decision making is constantly changing here. This guy tries to go above, I pyramid him off, and once again, we're in that same dilemma. Do I want to build for high ground here? If I had 3,000 materials, I probably would have tried it. I have 200 mats, and this is where you're in a tough position. I know there's some good players here endgame. I know I have a good game going. I know I don't have that many mats, and I know I don't have that much health. And this is at a point where all I can do right now, statistically, I'm not supposed to win this game. There's other players in here who are in a better position than me, most likely. You know, we don't know for sure, but most likely. So all I can do is give myself the best statistical chance to win this game, which is what I realize is just building a 1x1 here and chilling. Now, I get a nice little break here, realizing the zone is going to push this way, which, of course, I take advantage of immediately, and I take what I like to call zone advantage, which is on a zone like this, where you can't rotate early because look where that circle is. It's in the purple. It's in the storm. I'm going to die if I run over there now, but I can rotate to zone advantage early. And here, when I have zone advantage, all these other players are going to have to rotate. Now, at this point in the game, my decision-making skills, I'm already running scenarios through my head, much like in baseball. baseball, if you ever played baseball as a kid, they teach you, learn what the play is going to be before it happens. I know people are probably going to jump pad or fly up to that mountain in some sort of time very, very soon. I also know I have 100 materials. That's 10 builds, chat. That's 10 builds, right? So basically what I want to do there is I'm like, okay, unless I can shoot them out of the sky or get them down to 1 HP, I'm not going to challenge people on that mountain. I'm going to have to play the low ground here, which sucks. I don't want to play the low ground here. I want to be up on the mountain. I have a glider redeploy with only one redeploy left. You can see I'm using all my resources this game, down to one redeploy. I'm spraying my ammo when they're up in the sky, of course, not hitting shots. And this is where, when it comes to fighting good players, you want to take, when they're in a position where, like right here, you can see I approach and I realize I need to get up on this because people are going to be fighting. Right here, people are fighting right on the storm's edge, and I'm able to, just by having, once again, zone position and advantage, boom, I'm able to take out that Twitch TV player without having to straight on fight that player, which if that happened, of course, I probably wouldn't have been able to win it because I only had 30 health. I would have had to just go for the shots. Once again, no materials. So I use my last glider redeploy to fly over here. I realize 3 people left. This is the decision-making process that's going on in my head. So I'm constantly thinking, where is this other player above me? I lose sound of where he is. I hear as soon as he jumps, I'm listening, as soon as he hits that floor, so I can actually jump. And once again, he blocks me off. Another Twitch TV player tries to block me off, but I jump and get up on his ramp behind him. Very, very good strategy. A lot of players won't realize that. This soccer skin down here, I am 2 layers above this player, which is always nice. Being 2 layers above makes it harder for them to track you, and of course it works out. Drop down for the shotgun shot, which I go for the body shot because I know that player was pretty much already weak, and it wasn't too hard to finish off. So you can see there were some Twitch TV players, there were some soccer skins. Sure, players in a normal solo aren't going to be as good as your professional top tier players in arena, but when you're going up with maybe not the most amount of health like you can obtain in arena, or not the most amount of mats, you have to use everything of your resources to be able to get those wins. And not every win is going to be nice and peachy where you have 3,000 mats, you're rotating early and killing people in a bush for the easy victory royale like you see happens on some streams sometimes. Usually in those games it's because they took out the tryhard players earlier. In this game it's one where that top 5 was pretty much some of the better people in this game, you would think, and it came down to smart decision making, playing off that storm and making use. I didn't have the most amount of stuff, but I made use of what I had to be able to get that victory royale. Thanks for watching, guys. Smack a like if you guys made it to the end of the video. Subscribe if you are new. Turn on those notifications so you can get first on all my future videos. And that's about it. I'm out. Peace.